Good evening, students. Welcome back to the last class on Chapter 4, E-commerce, M-commerce, and emerging technologies. Now, so let us see who gets the e-chocolate. So it goes to Darshan. Then we have Prithvi, Manisha, Sunil Kumar, Diksha, Rajiv Kumar Singh. Okay, Prithvi, we got it. So good evening and welcome to this class. Now, as we ended day before yesterday's class, if anything, any questions you have, please do post again. By the time we'll continue where we left. So we were here on digital payments. Now, we took the diagram from the module, just a fast brief. So new methods of payment, UPI apps, Unified Payment Interface that is developed by NPCI, National Payment Corporation of India Limited. And it's now a phenomena that is traveling all across the world. Then Bhim Bharat Interface for Money, it's based on UPI platform. Then mobile wallets, Paytm, SBI Buddy, PayZapp. So lot of ICICI also got its mobile wallet right now. Then AEPS, Aadhaar enabled payment system. So as of now, as I know, AEPS is used by Government of India for the direct benefit transfer of subsidies. Again, the volume and the value that government is transferring is phenomenal. You must have heard about the speeches being made by our leaders. Something around 25 lakh crores in last 10 years have been transferred through AEPS. So the population and the use of technology and the volume it is generating is now phenomenal, and it beats any country, any region, any state you want. It beats anything in the world. So we are now at technological level. Anything that we are going to do, we are as such as number one when we use technology. So there has to be no question like who is number one and number two. We are number one like that. That much technology we are using. Then I asked a question which I didn't get an answer to that. USSD, Unstructured Supplementary Service Data. I asked you what is the core of that. So let us complete that question. See, USSD is a SMS-based payment system, because today in India, we did talk about it. Let us do it again. We have something around 120 crore registered mobile numbers. Of this registered mobile number, more than 50% today, exact percentage maybe 55, 60, but let us keep benchmark clear. So more than 50% of users don't use smartphones, they still use feature phone. So if government wants to create technology where by using feature phone, you can do banking, the basic banking things. So this is that USSD infrastructure. I did try when it was launched in initial years. So it works perfectly. Now, because using a smartphone, you don't feel the necessity to do it, but it works. So basic simple banking you can do on a SMS also. That is USSD. So this is also a phenomena that is there. It is not much talked about, but it exists. Then mobile banking, cryptocurrency was one of the things that I wanted to talk about more, where we left day before yesterday. So we'll talk about that. Then e-rupee, digital rupee currency, government has already launched that. Okay. So cryptocurrency, I want to talk. Okay, Sunil, I have taken your query, Sunil. I have made an update. Okay, but now your query will be resolved, Sunil. Okay. The next query is by Darshan, infrastructure and architecture. Yeah, I think I did try to answer that. So see, infrastructure is the mechanism. Okay, so infrastructure will include hardware, software, everything. So suppose to create a network or to create a mobile app or to use technology, I need 5 things. So if I keep all the 5 things on table, they are part of the infrastructure to create the network. How network is structurally designed, how it is working, that becomes architecture. Okay. So infrastructure is the components and architecture is the way the components are arranged. So that is a subtle difference between the two words. Darshan. And Sunil's, your query is going to be clear. So from Monday, you will not have this query. Okay. I don't know where this gap come, but it is over now. Okay. Now, cryptocurrency. So let us talk about cryptocurrency. Slightly added discussion on this whole idea about cryptocurrency. There we left day before yesterday. So see, cryptocurrency is like, so what I'll do, I'll just type few words. So we are basically talking about cryptocurrency. Okay. So the core features of crypto is a hidden currency. Okay. So crypto means what is hidden. Now, what is hidden? The currency is hidden. So like one of the most famous cryptocurrency that we all talk about is Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is one of the type of cryptocurrency, but it was like a first mover advantage. So Bitcoin has become like a synonym to cryptocurrency. But understand, cryptocurrency is a generic term and Bitcoin is a type of cryptocurrency. So let us understand that. Then, so crypto is a currency that is traded on internet first. Second, crypto is like a hidden currency. Okay. Crypto, the origination, source, destination is not traceable. So I can make payment in cryptocurrency, but it doesn't leave a trail. It doesn't leave an audit trail. Now, this feature of cryptocurrency where the maker of the person who is paying anything through cryptocurrency and the recipient of cryptocurrency, they are all hidden. So who is making the payment? You cannot identify the individual. Who is receiving the payment? You cannot identify the individual. It works on a coded system, coded mechanism. And it's a very hard coded mechanism. So it creates what is called as non-traceability. Now, I've read through, I think one of the countries in South America, we need just an update. Ecuador was the first country in the world which allowed cryptocurrency to be a legal tender in their country. That means in the country, people could receive payments in cryptocurrency, and that was an acceptable money tender. But all across the world, including developed countries, including India, because of the one of the, you may say it as an advantage that it is non-traceable, but because of its non-traceability, non-trackability, cryptocurrency is being misused by many people, including drug traffickers, money launderers. So they are using cryptocurrency for traffic, sending money from one location to other location. In fact, there was this just 2 days back, there was a report. If I understand, you must have started reading the Financial Daily on a daily basis. So there was a report that some app developed by some specific country citizens had defrauded Indians of something around 1,000 crores. And the app, the citizen of that country who developed the app, they transferred that amount outside India in cryptocurrency. So this non-traceability of cryptocurrency is creating a huge issue, and that is worrying the government across the world. That is why no country across the world is allowing cryptocurrency to be a legal tender. In fact, in India, Reserve Bank of India has already restricted usage of cryptocurrency because the traceability is not there, and because it is not traceable, non-traceable, it creates an issue with the authorities on tracking money laundering and drug money and the way it is being traveled. So that is cryptocurrency. It's a hidden currency. It works on codes like that. Cryptos are used by terrorists. Yes, Darshan. And Shivam has a good example. So I love these examples which come from Shivam. He says that, sir, Shivam, noodles is a generic term and which company brand you eat is a specific. Good, Shivam. Thank you. So it's a learning process. You get good examples and they are relevant. Great. So cryptocurrency. Then rupee. So that is converting rupee in digital forms. That is e-rupee. In fact, this has already taken shape and it is going to come over a period of time. Then traditional methods of digital payments. So these are traditional. We have been using it. We'll not put time and our time, money on the discussing traditional methods. Credit card, debit card, smart cards, a chip-enabled prepaid card we talked about, and internet banking. You all know it. Okay. There's only one thing. In fact, I just read a news report today itself that Okay, please say in chat, how many of you are using internet banking? आप में से कितने लोग इंटरनेट बैंकिंग कर रहे हैं? Say yes. So you can say internet banking yes in the chat. Then I want to share something with you. There was a news report today itself. So please say yes, you are doing internet banking. So we have got first response, Manisha. Great. So please understand, whenever you use internet banking, to type your password, kindly don't use keyboard. Always type your password from the virtual keyboard that is enabled on all internet bank accounts. Always type password from the virtual keyboard. It is sometimes uncomfortable, but always do it. Originally, there was a specific malware called as keystroke monitoring. So this software, if it was in your uh, laptop desktop, you will not know it is working, and it's going to capture the key that you type, that you use to type the password, so it can regenerate the password. Today I read it's today only, uh, artificial intelligence based systems have capability to capture the keystrokes, the way you type. Okay, so that is why always whenever you use an internet banking account, always use virtual keyboard to type your password. It is going to save you from risk that may arise due to these softwares and malwares. That was the point. So I think many of you use it. So we have Manisha, Shivam, Navnithan, Varsha, SK Sahu, and Diksha also. So these are users of internet. So see, using technology with awareness is the best way to save ourselves from any technology risk. And I've told you daily there are reports on some fraud going across the world. Then advantages of digital payments. So that is good. So when you use, say, advantages on the top of your head and mind, please understand that when I say advantages, I always remember that I read advantages along with the awareness and risk. That I must always do. So easy and convenient. You can pay or send money from anywhere. Discounts from taxes. Yes, I think you must. I want you to answer third one. I want you to give example of the third one. What government is giving discount to, some benefit government of India is passing on to digital people who make their sale purchase digitally. If you can do it, it is linking information one IT with another IT. That is linking information technology with income tax. I have given you hint. My question to you is point number three, that government of India is giving benefit if you do all your sale purchase, all transactions digitally. So I want you to link exactly what that benefit is. So information technology being linked to income tax, one IT to another IT. Okay, give example, give that benefit. Then it creates even if it doesn't create a printed record, but it creates a audit trail of transaction. And exactly this is why, this is the disadvantage, or this is the, you could say, feature of crypto. That is why governments are not allowing crypto to be used as a legal tender, because it does not leave traceability, trackability. So you have to use two words, traceability and trackability. That is not there in cryptos. That is why governments are not allowing that to be used. Then less risk is a relative term. So when I say less risk, so I have to link it to uh, which has more risk. We have already taken more discussion on this. So the risk is less when you compare this digital payments in comparison to cash. Okay, then yes, it gives competitive advantage to business, phenomenal advantage. I've already talked. We have talked about that snack seller who did a Google form and then allowed people to make the payment through those UPI enabled payment gateways, and phenomenal business they did. So no worry about cash collection. Everything is going perfect. And environment friendly because you're not printing it's a green technology. Okay. 10%. Okay. 10% discount on travel. Okay. I thought, okay. So I'll take that. Then drawbacks of digital payments. Now, difficult for a non-technical person, but I think this is has been done away in our country. Means from the very high-end stores to the basics, the vegetable vendor, our shoe merchant, our shoe polisher. In every person across India has a digital payment app available with him. The only thing is that it might not have made inroads deep into rural or tribal regions of India, but small city town, it has made inroad all across. So this one point, first point, difficult for non-technical person. I think the way technology has evolved has been reasonably been taken care of. Now everything is QR code based. You read the QR code and the payment you can do. So, but still, because it is not zero, so let us take it as a drawback. Risk of data theft. Yes, and that is why that new law, please understand wherever you find this word data theft, write the word DPDP. So that DP square law, which has been passed by Parliament, and to what I know, President has also given an assent to that. So just risk of data theft. Then overspending. Yes, that is a, but this is more relating to the individual, one part, and also relate to the way you are making payments. So sometimes people link overspending to like use of credit cards more, because in credit card you need not have the cash today. You can pay over the period of credit allowed by the credit card issuing bank or company. Generally, that is 45 days. Then disputed transactions, okay, they are there. But if you took the volume, so the value and volume of digital transactions that is being done daily and the number of dispute that arise in those transactions is minuscule, but because it relates to cash, it relates to more than one person in the chain of transaction. We must not disregard the dispute. They need to be acted upon. That is why Reserve Bank of India always updates, give new guidance on these digital payments. Few guidance we have talked about, like always have chip-based cards and mandatory OTP for any online payment. So it's basically resolving these disputes. So disputes are there. In terms of volume, they are reducing a lot, but they are again not zero. They are always going to be there. So that is one of the drawback that we need to look for. Then increased business cost in terms of the commission that you might have to pay to the payment gateway. Yes. So that may add to your cost. So that is a flip side, the or the con side. The pro side could be because you get direct payment. So the chain, the business is like you are dealing directly with the customer. So the intermediaries are also killed off. So this increased business cost may be compensated by reduced payment that you have to make to your intermediaries of business, like CFA, clearing forwarding agent, wholesalers, retailers. Now you are directly dispatching goods to your customers. So that cost saving is also there. So when you write increased business cost, you must understand that increase might be more than compensated by saving of the cost that the company was paying to intermediaries during this transaction being done. But if you look at one-to-one basis, yes, there is a added transaction cost. Then without internet, nothing is possible. So like for us, for humans, एयर मनुष्य के लिए हवा जिंदा रहने के लिए जरूरी है, वैसे ही इन सब के लिए जो सबसे जरूरी तत्व है इनके जीवन का वो है इंटरनेट. सो दैट इज मस्ट फॉर ऑल डिजिटल पेमेंट्स. Okay. Then computing technology, that is what we want to discuss today. So we are going to a new session. So we are good. Darshan says, sir, overspending adds to the GDP. Good, Darshan. But then, so it's worrying about the country more, but then you need to worry about the individual also. So we must save. So these are the computing technologies. We'll be talking about again. See, I'll try to bring as much practical examples to this part of the chapter. A lot of technicalities are built into the headers. Okay. But I'll try to bring as much practical understanding to these topics. A few I'll request you to remember also. Okay. So just keep a tag of it. A lot of technicalities have been built into these topics. So we'll be talking about virtualization, grid computing, cloud, mobile, green computing, BYOD, bring your own device, Web 3.0, IoT, AI, machine learning, and I have added not here, but last we'll have 5 minutes for something that you all also want to understand. I also want to talk. That is Chat GPT. Okay. So I'll bring today's. Just give me a second. I'll bring today's PPT. Yeah. So here we are. Okay. One of the high potential technologies is informatics. This is expected to revolutionize the value addition to huge information component, which is growing exponentially. Technological innovations in field of storage, data mining services may be key to address in emerging challenges. Okay. Now, so first is virtualization. So because see this topics do carry a basic there is a technical backend to the word itself. Okay? So we'll try to grasp the key technical words and understand the application part more clearly. Yeah, blockchain will be talking about. Yes, don't worry, Darshan. It is there. Okay. Now, what exactly is virtualization? So, let me share a practical experience from my own office. We had it 15 years back. Okay. And then I first time got myself acquainted with the word virtualization. So, I'm sharing something with you to add this practicality to this. So 15 years back, we got uh, a big project to work on. So that time I had my laptop and we had three PCs in the office. But then because it was a big project to work on, so uh, there was a need felt to have a fourth PC also. PC is personal computer, desktop. So then I felt that we are not going to buy a new personal computer. We did not want to expend money. See, chartered accountants, huh? So they will always try to save money. So we wanted to save that money. So I talked about to some computer vendors then. So that time the computer vendor shared something with me. Uh, he shared the name of the company that was selling that, but the idea was creating something like a dumb terminal. Now, dumb terminal is what? So what was basically done? There was a device that was called as a dumb terminal device. It was size of, if you can see my palm, not more than this. Okay. Uh, Roughly 1.5 inch thick square device. You can say 6 inch by, not even 6 inch. Yeah, 6 inch by 6 inch square device, 1 inch thick. What it enabled. So what it allowed us that we connected that device to our local LAN, local area network. So it had a slot of what we call as LAN Cat 5 slot. So we inserted the LAN cable. Then it had port to attach a monitor. It had a port to attach a keyboard, a port to attach a mouse, and two additional USB port to attach pen drives. So once you install that, what it does is that you can configure this device to your existing desktop. So your existing desktop, you're connecting this dumb terminal. Now in the existing desktop, you create two users, say A user and B user. This B user is this dumb terminal. So you switch on the dumb terminal. You have already created two users on this desktop. So this dumb terminal, what it is able to do, it is able to use the processing and the capabilities of the desktop, and two people are able to work on same system. So what we were basically able to create a extended desktop from an existing desktop that we were able to create. Okay, just remember this. Let me take it to the next level, and then we'll go to that. So by using a single desktop, we were able to create an additional desktop. How much money we did expend? So we only expended the money for buying that special device. We had an extra keyboard, mouse in office, and we had an extra monitor also. So our cost was like, suppose we had to buy a new desktop then 15 years back. So 15 years back when we had to buy the desktop, so the cost of the desktop maybe say 20,000, but this device was available only in 3,000 and additional cost for monitor. And so we were able to create an additional desktop less than, by incurring a cost less than 40% of the full desktop. Now, so once we were able to do this, now what we did next was, uh, we created this, I shared this idea with my computer vendor then. So he didn't knew it. So this computer vendor got a phenomenal idea based on this discussion. You know what he used to do? He got a business opportunity created. You know, you go to all these public schools today all across India. So they have got big computer labs, and you see the monitor and you see the keyboard and the mouse. But when they display the monitors, they do not display the CPU. आप जब उस लैब में देखते हो तो आपको 40 कंप्यूटर के मॉनिटर दिखते हैं, उनके नीचे सीपीयू कितने लगे हैं थोड़ी दिखते हैं. So what that vendor got an idea that through this use of technology to create a 40 monitor computer lab, he would do it maximum by using 8 CPU. So it became a big business proposition. Okay. Now with these two examples, let us read the word virtualization. Yes. Okay. So in fact, Darshan and Varsha both have said it correctly. Perfect. So virtualization means to create a virtual version of a device or a resource such as server, storage or network, or even an operating system. Virtualization refers to technologies designed to provide a layer of abstraction between hardware system and software running on them. Virtualization allows its users to manipulate their systems, operating systems, into thinking that a group of server is a single pool of computing resource. Conversely, allows its user to run multiple operating systems simultaneously on a single machine. So you can create like this. The core concept of virtualization is partitioning, which divides a single physical server into multiple logical servers. You got the idea. This is the location where virtualization is used. So server consolidation, disaster recovery, testing and training, portable application and portable workspaces. So the technology is there. Now, based on the need, based on the use, you can use virtualization for all these purposes. Common types are hardware virtualization, network, and storage virtualization. The example that I gave you included, in fact, it covered all the aspects. Hardware virtualization, one desktop was extended to another. Network virtualization, the same network cable. And storage, the dumb terminal stored all data on the main system. So we'll take read from the module. Just give me a second. I'll bring the module. So application area server consolidation. Virtual machines are used to consolidate many physical servers into fewer servers. So you can do a reverse one, which in turn hosts virtual machines. Each physical server is reflected as a guest residing on a virtual machine. So just remember the short form P2V, physical to virtual transformation. Then disaster recovery, you can create partition for saving data. Virtual machine can be used as hot standby. Now, please understand what exactly this word is. It's a new word in the paragraph. So to make easy for you to remember, see, hot standby basically means that suppose there is a disaster. So there are concept of disaster recovery. Concept of disaster recovery means there is a concept that requires an immediate recovery from disaster. So that is called as you recover through something called as a hot site. Hot site means if disaster occurs now, you can start the hot site say within 6 hours, 12 hours, as the case may be. So hot site is an immediate recoverable disaster backup site. Okay. Because see, you need to understand that if there is a disaster, the physical location from where you are working may be destroyed. Okay. So you require a place to work. That is what is called as a hot site. So virtual machines can be created as a hot site machines. Then testing training, you can partition and use it for training. Portable applications needed when running an application from without, yeah. So portable applications you can use through virtualization, can be used to encapsulate the application with a redirection layer that stores the temporary file in the registries. So not going into the technicalities, but those applications which you want to use at multiple locations, you can use through virtualization and workspace. That live example I have given. Then hardware virtualization, I'll read the first line. Hardware virtualization or platform refers to creation of a virtual machine that acts like a real computer with operating system. So the example I gave from the office was exactly a hardware virtualization. Network virtualization is method of combining the available resource in a network by splitting up the bandwidth into channels. Okay. So suppose 100 MB is available and I divide this 100 MB into say segregate parts so that all can be used by 10 different users. So that becomes network virtualization. And storage virtualization is an apparent pooling of a data from multiple storage devices, even different type of storage devices into what may appear like a single device that is managed from a central console. So all storage devices are virtually linked to a single storage location. So that becomes a storage virtualization. There's a question. Dumb terminal is a substitute for CPU? No. Please understand that even if you create a dumb terminal, okay, so dumb terminal will require a CPU to work on. So it is not going to be substitute. Dumb terminal is going to work by using, like dumb is, we say a person is dumb. So our basic idea is that the person does not use the brain or say not has a brain. So in technology, when I say dumb terminal, it basically means everything is there except the central processing unit. All components of the computer are present except CPU. So any terminal that has to work, it has to have a CPU. So dumb terminal can exist, but it will require help through virtualization of from another machine so that it can work on. So dumb terminal can physically exist, that is sure. But if it needs to work, then it has to logically connect to another CPU. That is. Good evening. Okay. Uh, just give me 30 seconds. There's some network I need to update. I'll be back in 30 seconds. Okay. Then Darshan has one CPU, multiple monitors. Yeah, you can do that. You can very well do that, Darshan. The next is grid computing. Now, so what is grid computing? Benefits, type of resources, application areas, and then let me again give you an example and on of grid computing, and then we'll go to it. Now, see, uh, this in fact we are in the right period to talk about grid computing, like COVID. So, COVID hit. The knowledge about COVID came to all the world at start of say January 2020 or December 2019. Now, as COVID came about, no one knew the nature of the virus and the way it is going to hit people. So, in fact, if we all recall phase one and phase two of COVID, our own personal experiences are not good. Means our own response to COVID in phase one, that is first lockdown March 2020, was not good in terms of the apprehension. The fear was very high. So our response to COVID was very not good in terms of person who might be suffering from COVID, because and it was no one is complaining because we did not know how the virus is there, what it does. Okay. But as the virus came and as it spread across the world, so all governments, all big countries of the world started thinking about how to get above this. So this concept of vaccine for COVID took WHO took that lead in that a vaccine has to be developed. So development started. So development started like all across the world. Now, please understand that to develop a vaccine for a virus, it requires a lot of inputs in terms of testing, lot of inputs in terms of analysis, and it's a time drawn process. Please understand. Time drawn means a vaccine development may take any time from 5 years to 10 years to 15 years. But we realize that the vaccine for COVID was developed much faster. Say within a time frame of 1 year, the vaccine was developed. And India, we have talked about that. We are lucky that we got our own vaccine, and that has saved huge number of lives in India itself. So how does this medical research go about? So I'm trying to give example, and then we link this example to grid computing. So what is done? So see, this DNA of virus will be there. Then DNA of the persons who are affected by the virus is taken, and then a mapping is done that this virus is affecting what part of the DNA or what areas, and what testing is done on the affected person. So huge data is compiled, and this data is analyzed in something what is called as a supercomputers. So because I've used the word supercomputer, I need to define that to you. So supercomputers have a basic definition. So supercomputers are those, they are called as, their capabilities to be able to process 1 trillion instruction per second. It is also called as teraflop, 1 trillion instruction per second. That is their huge computing power they have. In fact, you must have read in newspapers, IBM sometime back launched a supercomputer which had a capability of 36 teraflop, 36 trillion instruction per second. So to be able to process that data for vaccine research, lot of computing technology is needed. So it requires supercomputers, and multiple supercomputers have to work together. And in fact, that is the core reason the researchers, the medical fraternity, the governments, and technologists all came together to ensure that this vaccine for COVID is developed as fast as it can be. Now, to be able to develop the vaccine fast, how you and I could have contributed, and I understand there must be many people who have contributed through the help of this grid computing. That is exactly the technology. So now let us read grid computing. Now, what exactly is grid computing? So one part of the example we have talked about, one first part, that is to develop a vaccine, lot of technology is needed, lot of computing power is needed because lot of data has to be analyzed. Now, how to create that data? Second set of example, second para of example. Say, imagine the office. I have got laptop and desktop. Say, for only for example, I am sharing. Suppose there are 10 systems in my office. Now, these 10 systems in my office, there is one server that we keep 24 hours on. Okay. And these 10 systems are not working for non-stop 24 hours. Only my server is on. Other systems are, say, for 10 hours a day, they may be used. So I can contribute to this research. How I can contribute? So suppose the agency that is doing that drug research, that vaccine research, it gives a public notice that those people who want to contribute to this vaccine research, they can join. So I join it. So there is some agreement that we do. Okay. Then in the agreement, what it says that I have to, me as a person contributing to the research has to say that I allow my two office computers to contribute to this research. Okay, so the research agency or non-governmental organization, they say, okay, you can contribute. Then they ask me, okay, what time in, say, IST or GMT you will allow your system to work. So like our GMT is 5.50, Kolkata is our longitude. I think 82 degrees the longitude, if I'm correct. Please update. So I say that from, so based on the GMT, I say that when it is from 10 p.m. Indian Standard Time to 8 a.m. next day, that is 10 hours each day, I will allow two personal computers to contribute to this research. So what happens next? The non-governmental organization, or say, for example, World Health Organization, they download two softwares on my PCs. Then I have to keep my PC on. It's secured mode. Every day, 10 p.m., some data will come from that NGO. It will be uploaded on the software on my PCs, and some computing will be done, and result will be uploaded before 8 a.m. next day morning. Now, what has happened? So I am contributing to this grid. Grid now you get. So my computer becomes part of the grid, and these NGOs were able to create a grid of more than 40,000 computers across the world. So 40,000 computers working parallelly will be super computer. That is how grid computing works. So I've shared a practical example on grid computing. Now let us read through this. So grid computer is a network in which each computer resources are shared with every other computer in system. It is a distributed architecture of large number of computers connected to solve a complex problem. So I think we have put it perfectly. Okay, so you can relate this example to each of the point as it comes about. In a grid computing model, servers or personal computers run independent tasks and loosely linked by internet or a slow speed network. Got the point? So the example I gave perfectly sets into the idea about grid computing. Then the benefits, perfect. Making use of underutilized resources. My office PCs, they only work during the day in day IST, as per IST during the day, as per IST evening they are free. Resource balancing, distribute. Parallel CPUs, it creates a parallel CPU capacity. That is why it creates a huge, like super computer. Virtual resource, virtual organization for collaboration, access to additional resources, reliability and management. Now, see in this whole discussion, one of the key ideas that need to be understood is that because I'm committing my computer, security has to be built. So that reliability has to be built into the whole system, the way it is going to work. Proper management. A grid is a collection of machines, sometimes referred to as nodes. So my office computer will become a node. Resource, member, donor, I can call myself donor, client, host, and many other systems. These include computation, storage, communications, software licenses, special equipment, capacities, architectures, and policies. Oh, very good. So we can directly relate this to grid computing. So, so when I committed my two PCs in my office for say medical research to an NGO or to World Health Organization, these were all the facilities I committed. So I may be called as a member or a donor or a node or a client or a host. And I committed computation, storage, communication, software and licenses, special equipment capacities, architectures and policies. Grid computing. Application areas. Civil engineers. Yes, that big. We are we as a country are building huge infrastructure projects in last 20-25 years. To me, Delhi Metro is a phenomenal feat of engineering, and more such projects are coming up. So when they have to do this data analysis, they require a lot of capabilities. So they can do it on uh, grid computing. Then insurance companies, application service providers, enterprise configures internal external resource to support the business load. Large scale science and engineering are done through interaction of people, heterogeneous computing resources, information system. And I'll request you to add medical research. In fact, one of the live examples that I've shared, of course, the vaccine is not COVID, it's a very different vaccine, but I'm just giving you time frame. So this vaccine was developed in a period of between 2 to 3 years, if only because grid computing was used for analysis. If grid computing was not there, the time frame for development would have been 8 to 10 years. So grid computing is a real benefit for medical research also. I'll request you to add that point. Then there's next heading, but there are questions. So let me take that. Khushbu, I don't know about that. So you'll have to ask the institute. Yeah, Darshan has a point. Why such speed? Because see, Darshan, the point is that you require so much speed because the nature and complexity of data is huge. So based on that complex analysis and the results that come, you have to take the next action. That is why that much amount of speed is needed, the teraflop that I'm talking about. Okay, let me ask a very different question. Two famous Russian chess players, I miss. I know name of one. There are two. I miss the both. Gary Kasparov and the other one I just missed that. So these two very famous Russian chess players. One of these two players had a chess match with a supercomputer developed by IBM. So there was a chess match between a supercomputer developed by IBM and one of these two Russian players. I think Gary Kasparov is the right name. So I'm putting this question because Darshan has asked the high speed of supercomputers. So I'm putting this question back to you, and it is part of the syllabus. And we are going to talk about a lot about artificial intelligence, machine learning today, blockchain, chat GPT also will be talking about. So I'm putting this question back to you. So this was a supercomputer. Now imagine this supercomputer had the capability of calculating, processing 1 trillion instruction per second. And here is the human being. Okay. This supercomputer that I'm talking to. Now in chess, those of you who have played chess, the 8x8 board of the chess, 64 cells you have. So I'm sharing the capability that this supercomputer had then. This match was done, I think, more than 30 years back. This supercomputer had capability of calculating or generating permutation combination based on the opponent's move. So if say Gary Kasparov had a move on chessboard, before this supercomputer moved its plays, its move, it calculated 1 billion, 1 billion combinations का एनालिसिस करता था और फिर अपनी चाल चलता था. This supercomputer used to plan 1 billion moves based on the opponent's move and then put the bet ahead, put the board or put the chess, put his move on the chess board. Now the question to you is, who won the match? इस पहले मैच में जीता कौन? Then I'll come to this the question put by Darshan. And it's a good question. Huh? In fact, it's a good answer to this, the risk that we all see with Chat GPT. So you are answering the question, this first match between a supercomputer developed by IBM and one of these chess champions 35 years back, who won the match, the first match. Okay. Now, again, imagine the example I gave. So two office PCs contributing to medical research. What would be the key issues? So first would be security. Very, very important. Because it's for both security for me also and security for the research person also. So person who is using the grid computing as a technology and person who is providing the resource for grid computing, security is relevant at both the ends. So that is very, very important. So proper security, resource management. The resources need to be very clearly managed. The data management, management and protection of credentials. Yes. So that the, say, World Health Organization or the NGO, which allowed people to contribute to vaccine research. So it was not that anyone can go into that. Before they allowed you to contribute, they had your credential validation. Who are you? What you are doing? Whatever is your job profile? Are you a doctor? Like that. Then only you are allowed to do it. Like KYC of the individual. Then interoperability with local security solution. Because see, imagine 30,000 computers and all across the world and all operating systems and operating softwares and browsers being used. So it had to be interoperable. Standardization, very important. Exportability, yes, result from my, whatever outcome comes on my PC had to be shared to the agency or the NGO or the World Health Organization, and then it is going to collate all the results and come to some conclusions. Support for secure group communication and support for multiple implementation. That is easy. Okay. So now because I have answers, yes. In fact, the first match was won by, if the player was Gary Kasparov, he won the first match. So that tells you that even with artificial intelligence and all things being there, never a computer is going to go beyond human mind's capability. So that is one of the risks that Chat GPT has. We'll be talking about it. No, Prithvi, it lost. The first match was lost. Yes, first match it lost. Then second, I think it won. But first, it did lose. See, I'm trying to bring an issue to you. See what happens? It's a learning thing. So let me do this one in Hindi, then I'll do the English. भाई इधर सुपर कंप्यूटर और इधर वो प्लेयर है. अब प्लेयर क्या चलेगा तो सुपर कंप्यूटर क्या कैलकुलेट कर रहा है. तो सुपर कंप्यूटर का थॉट प्रोसेस कैसा है कि भाई प्लेयर चलेगा तो कोई, मान लीजिए उसके बोर्ड पर प्लेयर के पास भाई 8 और 8 16 मोहरे होते, 16 प्ले दैट ही कैन डू, 16 मोहरे हैं. सो प्लेयर कैन मूव 16 pieces on the board. What the supercomputer is thinking, he can move 16 pieces. Okay. And the supercomputer knows that say of the 16, there is one piece and then pieces can be put at multiple locations. So one piece the player will not move, because if player moves that piece, it is going to be like a disaster. सुपरकंप्यूटर क्या सोच रहा है, 16 जो मोहरे हैं इनमें से ये सबको मूव करेगा, पर ये 16 में से एक ये मोहरा है ना, इसको पीछे नहीं ले जाएगा. Why? Because taking that piece back is a foolish move. So there's a thought process built into the supercomputer. What is the thought process? Probably that the competing player is not going to do a foolishness. Now, suppose the competing player does a foolishness. What happens? The whole logic of the supercomputer is disturbed. So the first match was won by, yeah, Deep Blue. Thank you, Harshit. I was missing the name. I remembered Blue, but I missed the first name. Deep Blue, yes. Gary Kasparov won. So that is Siddhi. Yes, good. So you're all using Google. See, I was testing whether during classes you have access to Google. So all of you have. Good. So I've told you, Darshan, how it lost. So see, this is a good point that we will carry because we are going to talk about Chat GPT. I've added that here. So even with such high-end technology, ultimately technology is going to work on the way it perceives human behavior. That is a point. Second round, so I know. First, I remember perfectly that the Gary Kasparov won. Yes. Hmm. So it's a good discussion, a lively discussion. Okay. Then coming to the next, the most important topic that you must keep yourself aware about because lot of discussions are there in this, that is cloud computing. Now, before we go in, see, cloud is like a shared resource. So just whenever you read a word cloud, keep a conclusion in mind that you are talking of something that is a shared resource. Just keep that word. Lot of discussion is there, lot of questions are there on cloud computing. We'll learn through that. To understand cloud computing, we first must understand what cloud is. So the cloud refers to application services, data storage on internet. You means probably, please delete the word probably from the second para. You already use cloud computing in some form. So probably is not important. All of us use cloud. For example, if you access your email via your web browser, you are using a form of cloud computing. If you use Google's Drive application, you are using cloud computing. Anything that you are doing on mobile, accessing Gmail, accessing any email, you're all using cloud computing. So probably we are deleting. If we have to write, we are all using cloud computing. Gmail is cloud. Yes, Dash. It works on cloud computing. Then cloud computing. Now, please understand this cloud computing, there are lot of questions in examination and lot of MCQs and lot of acronyms and full forms, short forms are there. So we'll try to find some way of remembering. Okay. Lot of them are there. Cloud computing means use of computing resources as service through networks, typically the internet. Cloud computing users can access database resource via internet from anywhere for as long as they need. Cloud computing is both combination of software hardware based on computing resources delivered as a network service. So you can get both. Cloud computing provides the facility to access shared resources and common infrastructure. So the keyword is sharing. Just keep the word sharing with you. Cloud computing allows companies can scale up to massive capacities in an instant without having to invest in new infrastructure, train new person or license new software. Now, see, please understand, this is one of the core, like why I want to go for cloud. So one of the core reasons for me for going to cloud are these two in the slide as they are given. Please read it. Companies can scale up to massive capacity in instant. That means cloud is available as you need it without having to invest in new infrastructure. You need, like the example I gave, you need not buy new resources, train new personnel, license a new software. What I can do through my mobile, suppose I buy another mobile today. So through that mobile, I can access applications. So I've already scaled an operation by one. In my office, people use mobile to do virtually all office jobs. So a new team member joins. We need not create a new infrastructure. The team members his or her mobile is a application device for us because we work on cloud. That is the capability that cloud gives to you. Cloud is of benefit to small and medium sized businesses. Business systems pay for what you use model. जितना आप यूज कर रहे हैं उतना ही पेमेंट करना है. That is what cloud is about. Pay for what you use model. Then characteristics, very, very, very important. Elasticity and scalability. So scalability is based on the volume, you can upgrade, that is scalability. Elasticity is that you can change, make modifications as you need. Then pay per use, that is on demand. Whenever you want, you can ask 24/7/365 availability. Resiliency we have talked about. We have taken some examples to that. So resiliency is that, see, we took that example of, you can recall, topologies, bus topology, ring, star, and mesh. So there was a set of risks. So like we learned that mesh topology is one that is going to be most resilient, because even with networks being down between one system to other system, mesh is going to work. Same resiliency is there in cloud. Even with one user, one node not being there, your cloud doesn't go because it is at a third party location. It's always working. You can buy a new access device and you can restart the operation. So that is resiliency. Multi-tenancy, more than one people. Workload movement, very easily you can distribute, and wide range of network access capability. You can access it through any mode that you feel comfortable with. It allows achieve economies of scale, very important. Reduce spending on technology infrastructure, again very important. Globalize the workforce. Yes, people. In fact, I just want to share this example. We have talked about this. Let us bring it again here. We talked about that salesperson of fast moving consumer goods company. Now, when they go to collect sales order, they don't carry a booklet to collect sales order. They carry pads which have the company's ERP system configured on this pads. It can be their mobile only. They go to the retailers and then they ask the retailer detail, type on the pad that they are carrying, take the retailer order immediately. It's a SIM card enabled pad, or if it is mobile, it's already has a SIM card. Network enabled system. Immediately the retailer's order is uploaded to company's central database. The central database has some validations like this retailer, any previous payment is pending. This retailer, did this retailer raise some quality or quantity issues previously that need to be addressed before accepting the new order? All validations are done immediately within less than a minute or less than 10 seconds. The update comes from the pad or the device of the salesperson. He or she immediately confirms the order to the retailer, including the amount of payment to be done. If retailer is ready, suppose company is giving an incentive of say 1% discount if you make an immediate payment, the retailer asks the company person to show the QR code of the company. The company person has a QR code on because the invoice is generated. Immediately the payment is done. Payment acknowledgement is generated. Everything is done through. The single device allows any person of the company to go to any location across the globe. If you are a multinational company, across India, if you're doing India specific work, globalize the workforce. Every person can work through that single technology that you have started using. Phenomenal. In fact, but I've not seen it, but I imagine that someday this sales clerk person is, or in fact, what is actually happening is that once this payment is realized, immediately the invoice and payment receipt is mailed to the retailer's official email ID available with the company, and then retailer can take a printout and file. along with the delivery dates. Everything is automated. No talk, no discussion to be done. I do say it, no bata bati to be done, and the transaction is completed. That is what technology does. Then it streamlines the business processes because it is so fast. Reduce capital cost. In fact, you can look into a different way also. Reducing capital cost because see, you need not buy high like desktop laptops. I can do it through my mobile phone itself. So it saves cost to the company first. Second, I want you to add something to this. Point number three, reduce. So it's a reduction. Does it reduce something else also? Capital cost is like capex. Does it? Okay, let me give you a hint. Does it help on the OPEX part also? CapEx, capital expenditure. OPEX is operational expenditure. All this way technology is working. Does it help company on the operational expenditure part also? Please write where you can save. Then easy to access information, application, and pervasive, all prevailing. You can access it from any location. Then because it's cloud computing, backup and recovery, you are taking help of a third person who is providing you cloud services. Like in case of Gmail, they provide you the cloud service. So there's something called as SLA, service level agreement. So that service level agreement will specify the backups and recovery that is being provided, services that are being provided by the cloud service provider. Then you can monitor projects more effectively, less personal training. Yes, in fact, to me, the way technology is evolving today, some training is required, but the intensity of training is going very down because a lot of complexity is being handled by the technology at the back end. Front end has been made very easy. Minimize maintenance cost because the capex is already low. So if you have a low capex, your maintenance cost relatively is already down. Load balancing, you can, because cloud is easy to implement, you can have more than one person doing it. Like the example we took of the sales representative, the company realizes that the single sales representative has to use, has to travel across say 100 retailers in one city, and using technology and because data is there, they can do an analysis. So immediately the system will tell that 100 orders in a day is a tough job. You need another person. So you can balance the load in terms of human resource also. You can balance the load in terms of technology usage also. And it adds to the flexibility of operations. Yes. Now, before we go to the drawback, there are some questions. So Gmail is cloud. Yes, that is Darshan. Harshit, Board of Studies app is cloud. YouTube, cloud. Darshan says Gmail has maximum storage 15 GB app, but that is their policy. If it's a company backed Gmail, then it gives you 30 GB. You take a domain, 30 GB, and if you get a paid account, it is 100 GB, and then you can increase. Then Darshan, as it's stored in internet, can cloud be accessed by someone? Yeah, you can do access that through password. It is secured. That means Darshan, the point that I understand you want to make is that because it is on internet, what about the accessibility and security? The answer to that point is it is secured. So those only who have the password, they only can access. That is saves time. Yes, that is Varsha. Yes, because physical infrastructure is not there, maintenance cost is reduced. Okay, so Prithvi has made a point. Availability of data anywhere saves operating cost. Okay, I wanted some good example. It's good, more intensity to it. Cost of saving human resource. Okay. Let me refresh. Okay, now see, please understand. See, let us talk about O2C cycle and P2P cycle, order to cash cycle. Okay, or working capital cycle, as you might have read in your financial management. Now, see, because technology is allowing the whole process to be done on a real time basis, all the assets like the payment, the company gives an incentive to the retailer at the time of placing order. If you make online payment to the salesperson, 0.5% discount. So company has already calculated at the back end that 30 days credit and then follow up cost is so high, immediate saves cost. So it saves on the operational expenditure in terms of a huge saving may be generated on reducing the working capital cycle. It's phenomenal. I can just give you I can ask you a question and try to, if you can calculate that value, just imagine, okay, I'm putting some values for you to calculate for the intensity of it only. Okay. Say, imagine a company has a turnover of 60,000 crores. Company has an annual turnover of 60,000 crores. Its debtors turnover is 60 days. 60 दिन में पेमेंट आता है. Suppose the payment starts coming in 59 days. They've saved 1 day. Can you tell me the cost they've saved in 1 day? The turnover is 60,000 crores. The average credit period of debtors is 60 days. And because of use of technology, they are only able to save, say, 1 day. Can you tell me the cost they have saved? So keep. So that is what technology does. Then, okay, let us complete this. And then because cloud is a very big topic. So after drawback, we'll take a break. Let us complete the drawbacks. So internet connectivity, we have talked about. Security, yes, security is a key concern. That is why you must be sure about, suppose I am a company, who is my cloud service provider? मुझे cloud services कौन दे रहा है? I must be sure on that. Then, depending on the C, the scalability support, it does not permit the control on those resources as these are not owned by user or customer. So scalability is allowed, but suppose there is a restriction, just check on that. Depending on the cloud vendor or provide, customers may have to face restrictions. So vendor may create restriction when customer is actually using those services. So see whether your service level agreement is clear, and then interoperability may be an issue because different platform, different operating system, different browsers, that may be an issue, but now it's reasonably settled. That is why wherever you go to any app, it tells you that this app works on Google Chrome, it works on Microsoft Edge, it works on Opera browser, it works on Safari browser. So that interoperability is now settled, but it's still an issue to look for. Now, because we are going to a new header environment, we'll take a break. It is 7:13. So let us have a 10 minutes break. We'll rejoin at 7:23. It's a break time. Good evening. Welcome back after this very important tea break. So now see, lot of you have given very varied calculation, but the point you got that I'm just trying to convert that 60,000 crores is annual turnover. 60 days is my debtor credit period. So if I convert, so that is my collection per day will be something around say 360 days in a year. So 167 crores is my daily collection. And if I save one day, so I'll be able to generate an additional interest on this 167 crores for each day saved. Being online, I please understand it is a live example from a company. I'm not naming that being online, but I am telling you what they saved from 60 days debtors turnover. They were over a period of time. They took at least 3 years to do it, but they brought it to 50 days by using technology. Now, you got the point. So you are saving so much. So you are investing. Just calculate your ROIs, return on investment. So that is how good technologies, good implementation, good systems, and use of better technologies lead to. So that is, and I'll accept all your calculations. So I'm not giving any feedback on that, but that tells you, see how you need to imagine things. That is a point. Okay. Then, now a cloud computing environment can consist of multiple types of clouds based on their deployment and usage. Such typical cloud computing environment includes, so four basic types are given: private clouds, public clouds, hybrid, and community. Let us read through. Each we will take in detail. Now, please understand, kindly do remember their characteristics because these characteristics are directly asked as questions in examination. Okay. So, private cloud, characteristics and advantages. Public cloud, characteristics, advantages. So, we'll take one by one. Each will be taken from the module itself. Give me a second. So, a private cloud, the core, the introduction. This cloud computing environment resides within the boundaries of an organization and is used exclusively for an organization. It may be also called as the internal or corporate cloud. So please carry these names. These can be direct questions in examinations. It may also be called as internal or a corporate cloud. Do carry these names. Okay. Private clouds can either be private on organization and managed by a single organization. So you could have it on, you physically in your premise, or you can outsource. So you could have on-premise private cloud or outsource private clouds. Then, so four words from single para resides within the boundaries. So user is your own self. It is also called as internal corporate cloud. The way you install, if it is physically within the boundaries of the entity, then on-premise. If it is outside, then outsourced. Characteristics, it is secure because private, only for you. Central control, because it's for you. You control it centrally. And the trouble is that these are characteristics, not benefit or disadvantage, characteristics. Weak service level agreement. Now, service level agreement between the user and service provider. So private clouds generally have a weak service level agreement, but it's an evolving process. Now it is improving a lot. SLAs play a very important role in cloud service deployment model, as they are defined as agreements between user and service provider. In private cloud, either formal SLAs do not exist, or if they exist, they are weak in their legality, intensity. Advantages of private cloud. It improves the average server utilizations, allows usage of low cost servers and hardware while providing higher efficiencies, thus reducing the cost of number of servers that entity may have to put in place. It provides very good security and privacy, and it's small, so it can be maintained easily also. There is a major limitation of private cloud is that IT team in an organization may have to invest in buying, building, managing the clouds independently. Private cloud resources are not as cost effective as public cloud. So private is that you are doing for your own self by your own cost. That's the organizations will require more skilled and expert employee to manage private cloud. Yes, good Darshan. I was waiting for this question. Why, even if you require why you require a service level agreement if it is within the organization? Now, please understand that uh, if it is physically within the premise of the organization, let me go to that point. It can be managed by a third party. It's written here. I'll underline that. It can be private to an organization and managed by a single organization. So even within the organization, it can be managed by organization itself, or it can be outsourced. So that is one reason when you outsource it physically within the organization, you require a service level agreement. And even if it is within the organization itself, to ensure the quality quantity of service to be delivered, the departmental SLAs are also created. So it's a part of the way systems are there. So even within the organization, a department is managing cloud, still you create a service level agreement between the user department and provider department. So it's accepted, means in technology, this type of SLAs are accepted. Then public. So public cloud is a cloud infrastructure that is provisioned for open use by the general public. It may be owned, managed and operated by a business, academic, or government organization, or some combination. Typically, public clouds are administered by third parties or vendors over internet, and services are offered on pay-per-use basis. So I'll just underline the key: pay-per-use basis. Okay, then they can be administered by third party vendors. So these are the key words that you must carry, and they are open to use by general public. So do carry these words. They are direct questions in examination. Also called as provider clouds. So in comparison to private cloud, public cloud has a single additional name, provider cloud. Public cloud consists of users from all over the world, wherein a user can simply purchase resources on hourly basis and work with the resources which are available in cloud's premises. For example, you have all shared the example of Gmail, Google, Amazon. Gmail is paid, Google, this AWS, Amazon Web Services, is Amazon's cloud service. Characteristics of public cloud: highly scalable. Yes. So you can scale, means from right now, say you are working on 10 people are users. Tomorrow you can create 100 and then 1000. That scalability it provides. Highly scalable. The resources in public cloud are large in number, and service providers make sure that all requests are granted. Hence, public clouds are highly scalable, affordable, because the users are large. So total capex done by the service provider is spread across, so the cost becomes low. The cloud is offered to public on a pay as you go basis. Hence, the user has to pay only what he or she is using. This does not involve any cost relating to deployment. Then, because it is public, security becomes an issue, less secure. That is why whenever you, like, two-factor authentications are there, whenever we want to access Gmail or any other email account. So that is adding to the security of the service. highly available because they are public and there are multiple users and multiple time zones the users are there. So these clouds are available 24/7/365 days as per the needs. In it is highly available because anybody from any part of the world can access the public cloud with proper permission, and this is not possible in other models as geographical or other access restriction may be there, and it is subject to a very strict service level agreement. As service provider business reputation is at stake, service level agreements are very critical. And just imagine that you are using Gmail, so you are the user and Gmail is a service provider, so you have got that end user license agreement, EULA, that has all the parameters of service level agreement built into that. Then advantages of public cloud. It is widely used in development, deployment, and management of enterprise applications at a very affordable cost. So one of the key advantages, the word we need to underline is at an affordable cost. Affordability is a key parameter for one of the key parameters for the public cloud. Then, as they share the resource, the cost is distributed. It allows so we'll be underlining the keywords. It allows the organizations to deliver highly scalable and reliable applications rapidly. So the keywords in this para is high scalability, reliability, and rapidity of deployment. Affordable cost we have taken in the previous one. So I'll request you to keep these words underlined. They are direct questions in examination and also part of your MCQs. Today we are going to have a very intense MCQ, a case-based MCQ. So generally we have 5 MCQ. I've tried to bring it to a level of 10 on one case. So we'll have a very intensive MCQ today. So this is the key words that you need to carry: scalability, reliability, and rapidity of deployment. Fast you can implement. Then there is no need for setting up infrastructure and maintaining the cloud. So no need to establish any infrastructure, and because you're not creating infrastructure, there is no need for maintaining. So you need to put the word no here. No need to maintain also, because physical infrastructure is not there. Next, public clouds can be easily integrated with private clouds. So the next line, the keyword is integration with private clouds. Just keep these words underlined. And next, strict service level agreements are there and no limit to number of users. So this can be direct questions in examination. These keywords from these characteristics. One of the limitations of public cloud is security or assurance, and thereby building trust among the client is far from desired because resources are shared publicly. Of course, that is why this public cloud service providers, they tell you that like we are some standard certified for security. So they try to bring the trust in their security by getting certifications to the probable users. So that is limitations of public cloud. Now, because we are going to the third heading, there are some questions. Let us answer that. So I've answered Darshan's question. Yeah, website hosts like GoDaddy, they're cloud service provider. Yes. Good. So Darshan has asked a question on this point, that how you can integrate. So see, Darshan, first understand integration. So let us define what exactly integration means in the context given. Okay. So let me bring a Word document. for a better explanation what exactly we mean by integration and why it is being said that it can be easily done. So I'll just share a Word document. So say, for example, you are a public cloud user. Okay. So a public cloud can be any Google, Amazon Web Service. There are others also. You can put any name there. And you can have a private cloud also. So please understand, an organization that is using a public cloud is not restricted not to have a private cloud. Now, what is the core difference? The core difference, what is cloud? Sharing of resources. Okay. So I can be a company that is using public cloud from third persons, and I have created my public cloud for my, just imagine companies like TCS, Infosys, Wipro, Tech Mahindra, companies with these have more than 1 lakh employees, each of these companies. So they may be using a combination. So they may be using public cloud for some services. They may have created private cloud for their own purposes. So they may be using both. So when you are using both the clouds, a moment may come that these talk to each other. ऐसा समय आ सकता है कि पब्लिक क्लाउड की सर्विस को प्राइवेट क्लाउड से बात करने की जरूरत पड़े. They need to talk to each other. So when that need arises, what is the point being made? That integration is easy. Now, private is mine. Public is not mine. Private I define. Public I don't define. So ease of integration has to be capability of whom? Ease of integration has to be capability of public cloud. So those public clouds which can be easily integrated to my private cloud will have more better selling proposition. भाई ज्यादा अच्छा इंटीग्रेशन करने की जरूरत किसको रहेगी? पब्लिक क्लाउड को या प्राइवेट क्लाउड को? प्राइवेट तो मेरा ही है. Public cloud will have that feature that, okay, I am a public cloud, but I can integrate myself easily into your private cloud. So if of the two options, one says I can easily integrate, other says no, the integration will be tough. Whom I am going to go for? The one who says that integration is easy. So that is the concept behind integration. Why it is going to be needed? Because companies are large and lot of resources are there. Not all resources may be available on public cloud infrastructure. Even if available on public cloud infrastructure, me as a policy within the company may decide that because for this aspect, I will only have a private cloud because I want a secured environment. For these aspects, I can have a public cloud because their security is important but not critical. So I can have two parameters. And now I want to integrate. So I am creating a necessity of integration. Why you need integration? Now the line that module says, so let us go to the module. It says public cloud can be easily integrated. So this has to be a capability. If they cannot be easily integrated, I'll not go to that public cloud. That is the point being made. So it's a unique proposition that public cloud must have. That is. Wikipedia is a cloud. See, okay, so let us, it's good to you ask questions and then it allows our discussion to improve upon. So I'm trying to answer, Darshan, I'm trying to answer that question in a generic sense. Okay, so please understand, today, any organization that is working on internet, any organization that is providing any information that is accessible to public, any organization that is allowing public to update, recreate that information, the default way is cloud. कोई भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जो इंटरनेट पे है, कोई भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जो कोई भी सूचना उपलब्ध करा रही है, कोई भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जो उस सूचना को किसी भी सामान्य व्यक्ति द्वारा परिवर्तित करने का अधिकार दे रही है, ऐसी कोई भी संस्था, ऐसी कोई भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के लिए काम करने का डिफॉल्ट तरीका क्लाउड ही है. So by default it's cloud. So to be to link everything to whether cloud, it's a question that is not material now. Everything is cloud like. That's but it's good. Always ask questions. Then hybrid cloud. So hybrid is merging. So now that uh, actually adds value to our discussion on the integration of private and public cloud. So right now we were talking of integrating, allowing public to talk to private. Now we are talking of merging the two. Okay. So this is both a combination of at least one private and at least one public cloud computing environment, usually consisting of infrastructure, platform, and application. So when you allow them to merge, you create a hybrid cloud environment. So again, please I'll underline the keywords, important for exam, important for your MCQs. Okay, so just let us do that. This is a combination of both. What it says, at least one private and at least one public. So there's a possibility that you could have more than one public, but one has to be there. That's the usual method of using hybrid cloud is to have a private cloud initially and then additional resource public cloud may be used. Now it's general, not necessary who is born first. So in it says usually private is born first, but it's a general statement. Otherwise, it can also happen. The hybrid cloud can be regarded as a private cloud extended to a public cloud. Okay, there are a number of ways you can say. You say the best way you want to understand. Now, next is important. So public cloud is less secure. The example we took was exactly what has been put here. So what it is saying that, see, whenever you create a hybrid cloud, how you decide that which application will be on public and which will be on private. So it says that organization may perform non-critical on private because security is not that much, and critical on private, non-critical on public, and critical on private. So why? Because public clouds have security as a issue. So then when you have hybrid, you can decide that what is non-critical can be taken on public and what is critical can be taken on private. That's so it comes like this. So this common area becomes the hybrid cloud. Then characteristics. So what it does, it brings advantages of both together. And during this process, the few of the disadvantages of both are cancelled out. Scalability, I'm not reading. Partially secure. See, private was very secure, public was less secure. You have merged. So what it says, partially secure. Then private, weak SLA, public, strong SLA, merge. So it says stringent SLA. And cloud management is complex, yes, because you have both private and public. But then we'll accept that because the benefits outdo the complexity parameter. It's highly scalable, advantages, gives power of both private and public cloud, and better security than public cloud. The only limitation is security features are not as good as private cloud. So suppose I say security. Okay, now I am asking you this question. You arrange in the ascending order. Ascending order में arrange करना है आपको. Let me type. So public. The three options are private. So I'll ask question. We'll have a rapid fire. I'll keep a note of the question. Just give me a second. Pen. Yes. So what your answers will be three, but they have to be in a series. So the series is public, private, or hybrid. Okay. So you have to. So first is you have to ask the first rapid fire. असेंडिंग ऑर्डर इन टर्म्स ऑफ सिक्योरिटी, सिक्योरिटी के असेंडिंग ऑर्डर में अरेंज कर, तो सबसे पहले सबसे कम सिक्योर, फिर ज्यादा सिक्योर, फिर सबसे और ज्यादा सिक्योर, असेंडिंग सिक्योरिटी. क्वेश्चन फर्स्ट. So when you answer, say question first, you are serial. So first, second, third. Okay. Options are private, public, and hybrid. So first you are answering in terms of ascending order. Ascending order of security. Second. Second is scalability. So scalability you are answering in descending order. Scalability in descending order. Scalability in descending order. Third, cost. So you are answering cost in ascending order. सबसे सस्ता, उससे महंगा और सबसे महंगा. Cost. One more. Next is fourth is complexity, ascending order. Complexity means of the three, which is easy to implement, then less easy to implement, and difficult to implement. So complexity in ascending order. So four rapid fire we had: security ascending order, scalability descending order, cost ascending order, and complexity ascending order. I'll read with by name, I'll read the answers. Security. So security, the first question was ascending. मतलब जो सबसे कम सिक्योर है उससे ज्यादा और सबसे ज्यादा सिक्योर. So all possible combinations are there. So what I'll do, I'll allow you to check your answers. Okay. But then it will become tough. So the first question, the answer is, which is the least secured? Public. Which is slightly better secured? Hybrid. Which is the most secured? Private. So first is public, hybrid, and private. Give yourself marks. Okay. So public, hybrid, and private. Second, scalable. Which is the most scalable? Descending order. सबसे ज्यादा वाला ऊपर. Good. There are correct answers also. So public is the most scalable, hybrid is slightly less scalable, and private is least scalable. So second, public, hybrid, and private. So give yourself marks. Then cost, ascending order. सबसे सस्ता, थोड़ा महंगा, सबसे महंगा. The least costly is, so let me see whether we have correct answer. Yeah, we have correct answer for third one also. So least costly is public, slightly more costly is hybrid, and most costly is private, ascending order. Then complexity of creating, ascending order. लगाने में सबसे आसान, थोड़ा कठिन और बहुत कठिन. So let me see question 4. Yeah, question 4 also correct answers are there. So public is the most easiest to implement, hybrid is slightly difficult, and private is most difficult. So 4 rapid fire we had. Now I'll request you to put your marks. कितने नंबर मिले इधर लिखो ना चैट में. 4 में से कितने मिले? So enjoy this rapid fire. Huh? Now I'll read marks with name. So Harshit, 4 out of 4. Then Sunil Kumar is 3. Dikshita is also 3. Good. That's a very good score. So Harshit 4, Sunil Kumar 3, Dikshita 3, Prithvi is 4. Great. Rajiv Kumar Singh, I am not reading. Okay, but you have shared, so it's good. Don't worry, it's a learning process. Sahu SK, 2. Okay. Rajiv Kumar Singh got 3. Yeah, I missed that. So Rajiv Kumar Singh also has got 3 and SK Sahu has got 2. Great. So it's fantastic. Okay. So let us go to the next topic, that is community clouds. Now, uh, see, community clouds, as the name indicates, it's a cloud environment dedicated to a community. That is. So community cloud is a cloud infrastructure that is provisioned for exclusive use by a specific community or consumer from organization that have shared concerns like mission security requirement, policy, compliance consideration. So they are specific. It may be owned, managed, and operated by one or more organization in a community. It can be a third person. It can be public, private, or combination. So that is immaterial. The only point is it is for a community. Okay. Then this model is suitable for organizations that cannot afford a private cloud and cannot rely on a public cloud either. So just keep this. Who is a user of community cloud? So let us underline. The keywords are for specific community of consumers from organization that have shared concerns like mission security requirement, policy, compliance consideration. That's. So keep a tag of these words. Then characteristics of community cloud, collaborative and distributive maintenance. Remember the keywords. Partially, just keep remember the headers. Partially secure, cost effective. The advantages are it allows establishing a low cost private cloud. It allows work on the cloud. It allows sharing responsibility in the organization, and it's better secured than public cloud. Limitation is that autonomy of the organization may be lost because you're working through a community system. That's. Then next is very important. A lot of short forms are generated in this topic. We'll go to the slide. Yes, you can say that's unlimited public cloud. Yeah. Then the models itself. So this is very important, and lot of questions are asked on this part in the MCQs also. So first is IaaS, infrastructure as a service. A hard level service uh, provides computing resources such as, now just keep a note of these keywords. Okay, what exactly it is providing. IaaS, it is providing processing power, memory, storage to run application on demand. So these are the keywords that this is providing. This allows users to maximize the utilization of computing resources through creating what is called as virtual machines. Then characteristics of IaaS, I'll request you to just, I'll run through the headers of them. Web access to resources that you understand. Centralized management. We are reading IaaS, infrastructure as a service. Elasticity and dynamic scaling, need-based. Shared infrastructure, that is core, because the name is infrastructure as a service. Shared infrastructure. And metered. So the person who is using the amount of service, that much you can bill. Now, this you'll have to remember. So instances of IaaS. So further breakdown, further subdivisions within that. So you could have NAAS, network as a service. This I'll request you to read through. So kindly go through this. Network as a service. The keyword is, I'll read the like a definition line of this. It is an ability given to end user to access virtual network service that are provided by the service provider or internet on per pay use basis. कितने user network के हैं? That is. So within IS, you can have these breakdowns. Then storage as a service. Now, few things that you will have to remember. Kindly remember the short form and the full form, and do remember their core definitions. Storage as a service. It is ability given to the end users to store data on storage devices provided by service provider. Storage as a service. Like this, someone talked about Google Drive. So that is okay. Then database as a service. So kindly carry the short form DBAAS. It is ability given to end user to access database service without need to install or maintain on its own machine and pay per base user basis. Database as a service. Then backend as a service, BAAS. This provides web and mobile application developers a way to connect their applications to backend cloud storage with added service as user management, push notifications, social network services, integration using custom software development. So backend as a service. Then DTSS, desktop as a service. It is pay per use cloud service delivery model in which the service provider manages the backend responsibility of data storage, backup, security, and upgrade. So the whole desktop has been is being provided as a service. Okay. So please do remember these names, the definitions. There are direct questions in your MCQs. So we have taken first IaaS, infrastructure as a service. So there were 6 points: network as a service, storage as a service, database as a service, backend as a service, desktop as a service. Now coming to the second aspect, platform as a service. Providers, the PaaS providers provide the users the ability to develop, deploy an application on development platform provided by the service provider. In traditional application development, the application will be developed locally and hosted on central location. In a standalone application development, the application developed by traditional development platform result in licensing-based software, whereas, this is important, I underline this aspect, PaaS changes the application development from local machine to online. So here, you need not develop the applications on local machines, but you can gain access to them online. PaaS providers provide a pre-built computing platform because it can consist of anything, including operating system, programming languages, disk, database, testing tools, build tools, deployment tools, like that. So this is all part of platform as a service. Like Google App Engine, Windows, Azure, these are examples. And the third aspect is software as a service. This has to be easy. Software as a service provides ability to end users to access an application over internet that is hosted, managed by service provider. In fact, today, most of the ERP implementations, banks, bank ERP and general ERP work on software as a service. So you pay to the software vendor based on the number of users the software is going to be used by. So that becomes a good example of software as a service. Present software deployment for large organization is virtually 100% on a SaaS basis. Then within software as a service, there are instances which include, carry these names, testing as a service, tasks. This provides users with software testing capabilities such as generation of test data, execution of test cases, and evaluation of on a pay-per-use basis. Now, I'll create a live example for you to understand this. Okay, so Okay. Suppose I'm asking you a question for this. Okay. So the issue is this one you are answering. What is the question? So the question is that suppose you are a software developer and you have developed a income tax software. Okay. And you want to test it. So what is the slab where the first income tax is levied? The first slab for individual. So say, for example, keeping it fast, the value is 5 lakh. 5 लाख से ज्यादा अगर टैक्स इनकम होगी तो टैक्स लगेगा. The say law is that the income if it is more than 5 lakh then tax is payable. Okay. Now you are testing whether this software is working properly or not. So I want you to tell me the test data that you are going to use to see whether software is working properly or not. So what you can give me values. So these are the test data we will process. This will be the total taxable income we will generate and see whether the taxation software is working properly or not. What is the provision? The income tax is payable when the income is more than 5 lakh. 5 लाख से ज्यादा इनकम होगी तो टैक्स लगेगा. आपने एक सॉफ्टवेयर बनाया है, आप उसको टेस्ट कर रहे हैं, तो टेस्ट करने के लिए आपको टेस्ट डेटा क्रिएट करना होगा. तो आपको मुझे बताना है कि यह चेक करने के लिए कि 5 लाख से ज्यादा पर ही टैक्सेशन सॉफ्टवेयर टैक्स लगाता है, क्या क्या वैल्यू आप टेस्ट डेटा की लेंगे. व्हाट इज योर टेस्ट डेटा इन द गिवन केस? टैक्सेबल इनकम. सो यू कैन राइट इन द चैट, so this has to be my taxable income and I'll put in the software and see whether it is doing correctly or not. Okay. No, you cannot say two. You have to be specific. This is one value, this is the second value, third value, fourth value. Like, okay, Darshan has said, sir, we will test from, like Harshit said, 3 lakh. Darshan said from 2,50,000 to 5 lakh. No, that will be infinite combination. You have to be specific. Prithvi says, I'll take 2,50,000. Okay. Yeah, you can put, Shubham. You can put. In my case, suppose it is 5 lakh, the tax is payable when taxable income is more than 5 lakh. Okay, if we take my case, 5 lakh. Totally. Yeah. Good. So I've got one very good answer that Dikshita says 4 lakh. Darshan says 4 lakh, 6 lakh. Yeah, we can take Rajiv Kumar saying 2 lakh. Sahu SK says yes. So now see, this is a good discussion. It's a learning discussion. So you need to have at least 3 values. What those 3 values will be? One will be less than 5 lakh. Other will be more than 5 lakh. And last will be actually what? 5 lakh. Because it's a decision point. So this is how softwares are tested. Okay. Yeah. Take it. So this is how you test your softwares. So that is what is called as testing as a service. What you do, you create a specialized system which generate this test data. In fact, this is a very intelligent job, and those who have knack for system and those who want to go into system, testing of software itself is a big career opportunity. Okay. So testing as a service. So there are specialized companies which provide this service. I don't know. Let us be adding something. When this public sector banks mergers have been done last 5 years. In fact, last 3 years back, 9 public sector banks were merged to create 3 public sector banks. So the legal merger was announced, but the system merger was done after 1 year after legal merger. So when you will do system merger, means all bank systems will have to collate, come together. So there were companies who did this task. They were these big companies were given this task to test whether the merge system of the bank is working properly or not. So it's a big opportunity. Then API. Now application API is application program interface. Okay. So carry the full form of this. Remember the definition. This allows users to explore functionality. So in fact, now lot of applications you can develop automatically. Email as a service, you know. Then others, just carry the name of this. Communication as a service, please carry the short form and the core definition. Data as a service, security as a service, identity as a service. That's. So we talked about this. Then the issues to be considered in is threshold policy when you shift the interoperability, the hidden cost, unexpected behavior of the service provider and the users, security itself, and legal issues. So these are issues that you must be aware about when you're talking about cloud computing. The software itself, bugs, the errors in the software. So these are considerations you must always have. Then mobile computing. So blockchain comes, someone was talking about, so it has taken birth. So mobile computing, we have talked a lot since the start of this session. Chapter 1, we have been talking about it. We'll do it fast. Today we'll have 10 minutes extension. आज 10 मिनट ज्यादा पढ़ने वाले हैं. So I'll bring the module. So components are mobile communication. So the first is mobile computing. We've talked about. So anything that you through mobile is part of mobile computing. The key components are communication, mobile communication, the mobile phone, the hardware itself, and the software that allows you to communicate. Then working of mobile computing that you all know. No, Anydex is not, it's virtualization. Remote access. Then working of mobile computing, we all know how it is working. So I'm not reading through. Benefits, yes, we'll run through. So mobile computing has enabled users to work from anywhere as long as they connected to a network. So internet connectivity is there. You can log from any location. The best example, that sales representative taking orders. Then mobile computing has reduced traveling time. Yes. Employees' productivity has been enhanced phenomenally. Enable organization to improve service to customer. The examples we have been talking about. Information flow has increased effectiveness. Facilitates excellent communication, and remote location workforce deployment is possible. Limitation, yes. See, because internet connectivity is an issue. So if bandwidth is not there, then it takes a hit. But we as a country improving the bandwidth. We are now in 5G. Security standard, yes. Security is a very important aspect. When working on mobile, one is dependent on the public networks. So they must be secure. Power consumption, that you cannot have a control on. Transmission interference. When you're transmitting data, there may be interference. Health hazard of mobile. Yes, lot of research has been done on it. And human interface with device. Doctors are this. After COVID, lot of issues have come with the eyesight because a lot of people being online. So screen time has some health issues. Then green computing. Green computing means using technology to have greenery across the globe. So when you do paperless, it is green computing. So wherever you can prevent burning of fossil fuel, wherever you can prevent less consumption of paper, that is green computing. So how you have to work through? Let us see our slide. So we have to take it from the module itself. Yes. So we have to create a sustainable green computing environment. Develop a sustainable green computing plan. Sustainable means which is so well made that it can be put in place in performance. That is recycle. Yes. In fact, that is what all municipal corporations across India are doing. And when awards are given to municipal corporations now, so government of India is checking whether how much city waste are municipal corporation recycling and reusing. So that has become a parameter. Then make environmentally sound purchase decisions. Very good. Reduce paper consumption, conserve energy. So all these are functional, and they how you can do it. So you can just go through that. The security, the challenges that are there in green computing. So whenever you go for green computing, you need to see the security mechanism, how it can be built around the periphery of ensuring that energy is conserved, green computing is adhered to. That is very, very. And now the next topic is B. So we'll continue because we have to do it from the module itself. BYOD. I have given every time I talk about mobile computing, I am basically talking about BYOD. So when I say that my office staff works on their mobile, so they are basically doing what? They are using their own device to do office work. That is what is called as BYOD. Bring your own device. So the benefit is it saves cost for me. The other benefit is it improves the efficiency of the employee because the device that employee can work on is always available with the employee. So the efficiency effectiveness improves. The risk parameter is security becomes an issue. Okay. Harshit, I'll answer your question after BYOD. So bring your own devices, allowing employees to work on their own system that leaves happy employees because they are working on their system, which is they are attuned to. Low budget for me as a company. Very less support requirement because employees have their own device, they get it maintained. Better adoption of new technologies and improvement of efficiency of employee. The threats are network risk. Yes. The employee goes home, then device is not visible. So lack of visibility, network risk, device risk, loss of device, it may be lost. Application risk, the risk may come from the malwares that may come on employee device. How I implement, I'm not able to implement correct. So this is how BYOD was. BYOD is now across the globe used. In fact, I learned that companies provide, if employees bring their own laptop for working, I learned that companies provide them something called as a BYOD allowance because employees using his or her own laptop. So an allowance and additional cash incentive is also being given. So that is how companies are promoting BYOD. You can add this BYOD allowance is being given by companies to promote usage. Then Web3 is what is called as semantic. Semantic means that is based on logic. That is Web3. The underlying concept is because every technology is merging, so allow people to interact, create logical answers. In fact, Web3 is that has led to ChatGPT. Okay. It's a semantic web component, semantic based on logics, context, and web services are being provided through Web 3.0. IoT, we have taken this washing machine example we have talked about. IoT is basically the electrical devices in your home are connected to Wi-Fi of the home, and these electrical devices update their status live. So, like we talked about that water purifier in chapter 1, where the resins for water purification are going down. So, this water purifier intimates the service department of the company that my resins are going down in this house, please refill. This enabling electrical devices to communicate through network is what we call as IoT, Internet of Things. It's a phenomenal technology that has already made inroads in our house. It is there. Huh? It's not a future technology. It's a present technology. Then examples are there. A lot of examples have been given. So home appliances, office machines, government, yes, this switch, there are dustbins which are tagged with IoT. So if the dustbin is full, an intimation is sent to the central server of the municipal corporation. The municipal corporation van comes, empties, and goes back. So that is how technology is being used. Phenomenal use of IoT. So one is the devices, wearables, create smart cities, create smart grids. So this is big usage of IoT as a technology. Connected cars, connected smart grid. So everything is being done on this. The risk is evolving phenomena. The nature of risk it carries is based on academic logics and available practical experiences. So it's a learning process. Impact on business, data storage, intentional obsolescence of devices. Company may kill other company devices. Yes, microwave in kitchen, good. Google, no, it's AI. Dikshita, Google Assistant is AI. It is going to come. Risk is security, privacy. So these are practical cases which have happened. So this is the risk that you have with this technology. Then AI, artificial intelligence, giving machines capability of thinking and acting on that. That is AI, artificial intelligence. Okay. In fact, now this what Dikshita says, these are AI. Those all of us have used Alexa, Apple Siri, Google Talk. So if you're a regular user, you realize that over a period of time, the device response improves because your voice also has a DNA. So these devices works on artificial intelligence, and application of artificial intelligence is machine learning. So kindly carry. So application of artificial intelligence is machine learning. Then application, huge application. So I'm not reading them. You can all read through them. Lot of examples are there. The risk, yes, that is one thing that it's dependent on lot of input data, and see, allowing machines to think, machines can go wrong. So that risk is huge. Proper controls need to be put in place. Last but one topic is blockchain. Just give me a second. So what is exactly blockchain? So blockchain sometimes referred to as distributed ledger technology. So please carry the word DLT. Is a shared. So these are keywords for your MCQ. DLT is a shared peer-to-peer and decentralized open ledger of transaction system with no trusted third party in between. This large database has every entry as permanent as it is an append only database which cannot be changed or altered. All transactions are fully reversible with any change in transaction being recorded as a new transaction. So whatever updates you do, it's a new. So you cannot go back and alter the previous information. The decentralized network refers to network which is not controlled by any bank, corporation, government. A blockchain generally uses a chain of blocks, small blocks, with each block representing digital information stored in a public database. So a chain is created. A simple analogy for understanding blockchain technology is a Google Doc. When we create a document and share it with a group of people, the document is distributed instead of being copied or transferred. This creates a decentralized distribution chain that gives everyone access to the document at the same time. No one is locked out awaiting changes from another party, while all modifications to the document are being recorded in real time, making the changes is completely transparent. So this is how a blockchain may be working. Transaction like sending money to somewhere is initiated. Transaction is broadcasted via network. The network validates the transaction using cryptography. The transaction is represented online as a block. Block is added to the existing blockchain. Transaction is completed. So this is how blockchain as a technology is working. Applications, financial services, healthcare, government, travel industry, economic forecast, risk. With use of blockchain, organization need to consider the wider perspective, as different members of a particular blockchain may have a different risk appetite. So blockchain, because it is going to be general use for all, so there has to be a mechanism of creating a standardization of the nature of risk appetite and tolerance people need to have. There may be question about who is responsible for managing the risk. The reliability of financial transaction is dependent on the underlying technology. So if the underlying technology is not reliable, the financial transactions become unreliable. Absence of any central authority as of now creates an issue of legality to acceptance of the transaction. Blockchain involves humongous data getting updated frequently. Risk related to information overload could potentially challenge the level of monitoring required. Controls, as opposed to traditional manual techniques, computerized continuous monitoring techniques are used to perform evaluation. Suitable data analytics shall be developed to identify and obtain relevant information from blockchain. Communication methods shall be developed to ensure the operational changes and update relating to use of blockchains are communicated to appropriate personnel so that internal control related responsibilities are carried. The unique aspect of blockchain is consensus protocols, smart contracts, private keys, as well as factors relating to health, governance, and reliability. Both internal, external auditor need to be engaged to ensure reliability, accuracy of blockchain. Then we'll come to the last topic for the day, and then we'll do the MCQ. Okay. Yeah, cryptocurrency is stored in blockchain. Yes. And then I've added ChatGPT, not in the module, but for discussion. So at least we know something. So I want you to write the full form of ChatGPT. So that is the full form. Chat Generative Pre-trained Transformer. It's a language model. It is developed by OpenAI. OpenAI is an AI research and development company. It uses natural language processing and is revolutionizing the world. So just carry these few words. Okay. Basics. Then uses. Right. Now I think many of you use ChatGPT. Okay. We'll take the questions after this. So it is used to write program, debug the same, teleplays, fairy tales, essays, answers, poetry, songs. It can compose music, generate business ideas, play games. Okay. That is, then we'll take the MCQ, the very intensive MCQ today. So any discuss cloud computing? No. Remote access it is. Yeah. So Arjit sir, working on a device. See, that is why devices are being made less energy consuming devices. In fact, a suggestion is made that when you're not using device for special purpose, You can keep it in a power saver mode. Then, yeah, I gave example of microwave oven also working on IoT. Google Assistant is an AI based application. Cryptocurrency cryptocurrencies uses blockchain for storing. Dikshita, IoT is, yes, good. So Dikshita is put, is IoT and AI same? No, no. Artificial intelligence is capability of a system to think intelligently and act. In IoT, as it started, was basically a like a trigger based action. So what was being done? The electrical devices status was being updated through technology, through Wi-Fi to the user or to the service provider or to the owning company. But over a period of time, as things evolve, so an intelligence has been placed in these devices. So now they can take some action, but that is not converting them into AI. Over a period of time, that may also creep in into it. As of now, IoT is restricted to this one because, but lot of decision making powers are being given. So over a period of time, devices may become AI enabled. IoT is not AI. IoT is the basic technology that is allowing devices to communicate. It is one of the promoters, Darshan. There are many promoters of OpenAI. The name you have said is one of them. So we'll bring the MCQs. Give me a second. No, continuing. Wait, wait. 10 minutes more. Yeah. So we have got the MCQ. So please read through this. A minute to for you to read, and then I'll bring the questions. Yeah. Okay. Dikshita, I have explained cryptocurrency that we've done. Okay. So all queries are done. So once you have read through, please say yes in the chat. Then I'll keep the questions on the right side of the MCQ. Mm. So we'll get to the first. So right side, you can see the whole case. The question is on the top and answers on the left. So you have to say question one, A, B, C, D. Take your time. We are in no hurry. So one correct answer, I'll show the answer of the MCQ. Okay. You keep your scores, huh? At the end of this, because we have 9, 10 questions, so we'll take a scorecard also. Be truthful to yourself. That is a non-issue. Okay. Good. So next question. You have to select the best. Question 2. Hazard is good. But then there's a Factories Act 1948. You must have read through that. Question 3. Yes. Good. Yes. Firewall. Good. Question 5 is a giveaway. B. You have to select the best option. Mitigate means to reduce, huh? Of all the options given, which is going to lead to the best mitigation, जिसका प्रभाव सबसे ज्यादा हो, जो रिस्क को सबसे ज्यादा कम करे, which is going to reduce the risk maximum. Based on this discussion, you can re-answer. AI based, that is going to be the best user. In fact, this all technology companies have this, huh? So it is AI based. Seventh is also C. It's a repeat question. Take C. Okay. Eighth. Read. So now you are answering eighth. Yes. So we had 8 questions today. So you now put your score, how much you scored. And then any query, and then we'll call it off. So I want all of you to say your score. Good. So 5 out of 8, Prithvi, Rajiv Kumar Singh, 4 out of 8. Great. So that means age-based MCQs are one thing we need to focus a lot, huh? Because that they if you can get 80% plus here, then that is going to help. So lot of more practice is needed. Board of Studies has issued a detailed manual on case based. So kindly do solve that. Huh? Okay, Kriti is 5, Dikshita is 6. That is good. Harshit is 4, Komal is 5, Darshan is 4, 6. Okay. So that is good. Any query for the day? Shall we call it close? Any further query? Okay, thank you. So we are closing now.